Hello everybody, I welcome you all to Healthy Living, where it is all about health promotion. Thank you so much for staying with me, and thank you for subscribing and inviting someone else to this channel so they can also work on their health. Okay, it's a privilege to have you here because it's an honor to have you want to listen to me. So thank you. Okay, so it's World Cancer Day. Yes, today is actually World Cancer Day, and I thought I'd use this opportunity to give you some highlights about cancer, and also to inform you that we'll be talking about some of these cancers and subsequent videos. Okay, so let's dive right in. Stay with me, I'll be right back. According to Willis in 1960 Pathology of Tumor, cancer is an abnormal mass of tissue which growth exceeds the normal tissue and is uncoordinated with that of the normal tissue, and which persists in the same excessive manner even after the causative agent has been removed. Okay, so it's like the long and short of this definition is trying to tell you that, okay, so after whatever has caused the cancer has even been removed, the cancer still continues. Okay, so I explained how all of this happened in my video on cervical cancer in the intro of that video, so you could go watch that video to understand how this happens the more. Okay, so as at 2018, according to the World Health Organization, 9.6 million deaths could be attributed to cancer. Okay, so that's like 1 in 6 deaths worldwide. What do I mean by 1 in 6 deaths? As in, when you pick 6 people that have died, one of such persons died from cancer. Okay, and this person could be a child, an adult, a male, a female. It cuts across all genders. Okay, so that's how serious cancer is. So what are some of this cancer? What are some of the examples of this cancer? Okay, so I'm going to group it into two, that of males and that of females. Okay, so when it comes to the males, some of the cancer in males include we have the lung cancer, we have the colorectal cancer, we also have the stomach cancer, liver cancer, and then prostate cancer. And then when we come to females, it includes thyroid cancer, lung cancer, breast cancer, colorectal cancer, and cervical cancer. Okay, this according to the World Health Organization as at 2nd February 2022. Okay, so it's actually an updated information. So you may ask yourself, what causes cancer? This fundamentally it's as a result of mutations in the genes. Okay, this could be a mutation that was there before you were even born. Okay, and then it could also be as a result of mutation that occurred after you were born due to your exposure to certain things. Okay, so when it comes to the mutations that occur because of your exposure to certain things, then we could talk about some risk factors of cancer. Okay, so actually the bases I've listed are like the causes, what actually brings the cancer, but then we could have risk factors that could then lead to the cancer. Risk factors are like the things that exposes you, that increases your chance of getting the cancer. Okay, so what are some of these risk factors? We have smoking, we have alcoholism, we have your exposure to radiation, your exposure to hormones, we also have viruses, carcinogens, and obesity. Okay, there are quite a number of them, but these are some of the most common ones available that could lead to cancer. So how these things actually lead to cancer, as I said again, have been explained in the video concerning cervical cancer. I think you could actually take the opportunity to watch that video to know how cancer subsequently results. Okay, so now what are some of the consequences that could come as a result of this? Okay, the consequences include physical consequences, emotional consequences, and financial consequences, both on the individual, his loved ones, and even the whole nation. Okay, so when one person gets cancer, imagine the number of persons this one individual is associated with: father, mother, husband, wife, child. It could be anybody at all, and this puts these other people in emotional stress. Okay, and even financially, the management and treatment of cancer is no joke. It could actually drain the family. Okay, so that is the more reason we are talking about this today. How do we prevent cancer? So remember I said the most basic cause of cancer is as a result of genetic mutation, and this genetic mutation could have taken place before you were born or after you were born. Okay, yes, but there are some risk factors that could lead to this genetic mutation, leading to the manifestation of disease for you to have the cancer. Okay, so then in trying to prevent the cancer, what do we do? Okay, so according to the World Health Organization, to prevent cancer, we need to modify or avoid these key risk factors, okay, and implement evidence-based strategies to prevent cancer. And it's also shown that about 30 to 50% of cancers could be prevented if we actually manage these risk factors that I mentioned earlier on. So what can we do about this risk factors? Okay, so the World Health Organization recommends that you avoid smoking. Okay, you reduce alcohol, because all of this lead to mutations in your genes. And yes, note one thing: after these mutations have occurred, our bodies actually work to correct these mutations, but it is when the correction doesn't succeed that the cancer results. Okay, so when you continuously expose yourself to these risk factors, a time will come where your body won't be able to correct the repair, and then that is when the cancer results. Okay, so let us reduce alcohol to its minimum level. If you can avoid it, avoid it. Okay, and it will help us. Okay, let us reduce our exposure to hormones, particularly my ladies. The intake of contraceptive is actually a risk factor. So till you need that contraceptive, until it becomes necessary, a necessity for you to take it, you should avoid it as much as possible. Okay, you should also avoid unnecessary exposure to radiation. Okay, and then we should also have ourselves vaccinated against disease conditions like cervical cancer, because exposure to viruses could lead to cancer, like the cervical cancer I mentioned and explained in the other video. And we should also involve ourselves in physical activity. Let's exercise to prevent obesity, because obesity leads to cancer. Remember last week, and when we were talking about knowing our BMI and the consequences of obesity, I gave you a list of cancers that obesity could lead to. Okay, so we working on our weight could actually help prevent cancer. Prevent cancer is going for a regular medical checkup. You see, because when you go for this checkup, your body will be screened. You know, your history will be taken, your body will be examined, and you'll be screened for certain conditions, so that the disease will be detected early. And treated. Okay, so in as much as we are putting in measures to avoid the risk factors, let us make effort to visit our medical doctors for regular medical checkup and screening. The World Organization also mentioned that prevention is the most cost-effective strategy to control cancer, because the treatment of cancer is a very expensive thing. And as for treatment, when it comes to treatment of cancer, if you've already been diagnosed with cancer, you could be taken through surgery, radiotherapy, and chemotherapy to help. Thank you so much for staying with me. Like I said, this is just highlights of what cancer is and what we should be able to do to avoid cancer. Okay, when it comes to prevention, when after we have laid out the recommendations, the complaint of most people is that the do's and don'ts are too much, and so some of us will just leave things to chance. And I doubt if that should be true. Do you know why? That's because if you really want to leave things to chance, why do you still look to your left or to your right before crossing the road? That means you care about your life. And so the fact that you care about your life means you should be willing to put in measures to stay alive, to continue to stay alive. Okay, so as far as we want to continue to stay alive, then we need to do the things that we can do. Okay, and these are things that we can do, these are things that we can work on. It may take a while for you to reduce your intake of alcohol, but it's something that you could actually do. Okay, so let's kindly work on this so that we could all live healthy lives. Thank you so much for listening to me. Kindly share the video so people could also have ideas of what cancer is and how to avoid it. Thank you and have a great weekend. Bye.